didn't know if the Open would start, but I guess it did. So that means we're going.
What'd you call it? Back Porch Radio?
Yeah, well, Bob and I, when we first started in 1998.
1998
on the Jockaroonie, 1490 AM, and we were in Indianola in the old J.C. Penney.
Right across the street from Harrison Sports.
Yeah, Harrison Sports. Yeah, we did do a lot of sponsorship. So it was special. Yeah, welcome to Two Brothers Podcast. I guess we're back. I was talking to people in Pleasantville Wednesday, and a couple of them didn't know, and then a couple of them that had never heard it were talking about it, and then like Brad Veenstra from McKay's like, "Oh, I gotta get caught up." Like, like you're our only fan, man.
I actually got to catch up with him later today. So
that's the rumor. But the Bob and I grew up, in Marion County, kind of doing play-by-play in Pleasantville with each other, playing at board games we covered last week. But I think the cool thing about the style is we were not super structured out when we started doing our shows. And that was different because most talk shows, news talk shows, sports was just getting going. Everything was segment sponsor. Everything was motivated by revenue and how you could sponsor each segment. And we just went and got we got like a bank and an insurance guy and everybody just to give us a couple $100 and we just talked about sports. So, but we did. I mean, we had Gable on, we had Ferentz on, we had Dan McCarney on. I mean, because I was in TV, we had everybody good.
Was it weekly or was it?
Yeah, it was every Sunday to start, and then we did Saturday, and then just got bounced around wherever we could do it. We did it for like 5 years, but people will still ask me like, "Yeah, I listen to you guys on the radio," and I'm like, "No, we haven't done it for 20 years." And the Back Porch Radio was what Bob and I just decided to call it, and we took callers. And we got the same callers. It was a little WHO-ish, but I think the Two Brothers Podcast is a little bit of that. Let's not lie.
Yeah, but I think if we go on, how prepared we are to do this, if you and Bob go on a scale of 1 to 10, you're probably about a 7.5. Oh. If we go on a scale of 1 to 10, we're at about a 0.5.
I know, but there's content that we can talk about that I think appeals to mass audiences. Otherwise, they wouldn't listen. But we're not breaking down the Iowa State game and why the two deeps and all that BS. I mean, I just that's.
Did you call it the Iowa State game?
Iowa State game?
Yeah, is that what you just called it?
What do you want me to call it? The Cyclone?
No, it was the battle for Braylon Bingham.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that a little bit.
I don't know if you know this, but we did talk to Shannon Texter at Iowa Corn, and we did make an agreement that next year we could change the whole Iowa State game to the battle for Braylon Bingham. I don't think she agreed on that, but yeah, we did briefly have a discussion on Facebook, so it is out there in the interweb somewhere.
It's interesting. I will say this. I love both programs so much. It's really cool to have been through it, the reaction to it. And we are not SEC or anything, and I think the common people get it. But even nowadays, Back Porch Radio is not going good this morning.
Back Porch early morning radio guy.
I had Folgers, and that's my favorite coffee. But
in your house,
the Gronowski kid is a good football player. Ferentz is a great coach. People are already just like, Iowa's dead. They're going downhill. They'll never be good. And Iowa State's on the way up, and they're fantastic. And both things I think are true, but it's amazing right now. And, we paid this kid $2 million. All these things, it's just really interesting. But if that double pass doesn't happen, Iowa probably wins the game. Iowa wins the game. If the double pass doesn't, the
tip pass thing?
Yeah. If that doesn't happen, Iowa probably wins the game. And those same people are like, Kirk Ferentz and what he does is consistent, and this is the best program in the nation for a reason, and this Gronowski was a good move. And I like the quarterback. I like the kid.
I think he's going to be tough in the Big Ten.
Oh, I think he's really good. So I don't.
As long as he doesn't get hurt. If he doesn't get hurt, I think he's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun. Actually, it's going to be a fun Hawkeye season. We're going to win a lot of games, 12-7.
Yeah, He's got it. He just has to get comfortable with it. I think the difference between him and Drew Tate was like, I'm not comparing those two as players or whatever, but I'm saying once Tate stepped on the field, he just didn't care. He just kept winging it. I think Gronowski's just trying to make sure that he's doing things the right way, and I think he's terrific. On the other side, I just think Iowa State played great, and this is the second year they've had a kid from the Ivy League coming in as their fifth year. It's just a different time. Uh, and stage the way these programs have to be put together. And I think both programs are doing a good job of that. But that
And
that
they're
big
building
difference.
it for who they are, I think, is what probably is the coolest part of all this is you just go build your program for who you are. They are who we thought they were, like it's just go build your program and you'll bring kids in, you'll do whatever. I think the people that have embraced that you just build for who you are and who you want to be are going to be successful. I think I look at Alabama a little bit. Like I think they're in an identity crisis right now. I think Kellen DeBoer is a great football coach who's in a program that thinks that they want to be everything else, right? And I think the minute that they settle on Kellen DeBoer, build your team and go be great, I think they'll be awesome. It's not Nick Saban's team because Nick Saban didn't want to put up with the crap that's going on right now too. So it'll be a different element for a long period of time as we kind of keep figuring out what college football, what college sports ultimately look like moving forward, which I
It's
think
strange.
it
Yeah,
will be strange. Yeah.
I think the Iowa State men's basketball coach was one of the first people to kind of see that process that you're talking about. Was able to do it in his level in his sport. And yeah, football is really strange. But
Yeah, I think Coach Otzelberger was one of the first, I would say, pioneers inside of this new era, and I think he did exactly that. Like, I'm gonna just go be me, and I'm gonna build a team around me that can support what I have for my initiatives and my goals and my priorities. And he did it at UNLV super successfully, and then it was like do it at Iowa. But kind of take all that. Watching the Iowa State game was interesting. I think we had to be at a softball field at 5:45
yeah,
Saturday morning
remember that.
Eastern time. So just think about that. That's 4:45 Iowa time. We're leaving, and so it was a long Saturday for everything on Hawk Cyclone Battle for Braylon Bingham week. And so as I kind of was looking and kind of preparing and everything for that game, I think one of the things that really stood out to me about halfway through, and it was the double tip pass that really got me, was I cannot watch a football game. I cannot be a part of a sporting event, especially like the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Battle for Braylon Bingham game, without just knowing all of the things that you know. So when you're on the sideline for as long as we've been,
Yeah,
you're in parts of the media planning these events and things like there's just so much that goes into it. So the Gabe Burkle double catch that you were talking about, like all I could hear was John Walters, like on the catch. Oh, like you just in the most Walters way, like just going crazy on like, and he probably didn't see the initial tip, live, but and then he's kind of old, so whether or not he saw any tip, who knows,
he's
right?
actually really sharp. That's crazy.
But all I could hear was Walters on that catch, and I think that's what makes Iowa. That's what makes Iowa State. That's what makes our everything special. Is it's the people. And so you think about like Walters, like he grew up kind of covering these schools and everything, and now being the voice of the Cyclones, how much like pride and passion he takes in that, and that play was a huge turning factor in the game, and ultimately led to another
Caused it.
55-yard field goal to win it, and another, and so then I've heard the Walters calls on social media this week, and it was exactly what I envisioned, which is pretty cool and pretty fun to see that all come to life. And congratulations to the Iowa State Cyclones on a big win. I think that's a huge win, just in their schedule. And Matt Campbell has not been shy about going to Ireland, coming back and playing a really good FCS team, then playing the Cyclones, and now going on the road. That's a tough 4-game stretch, and they've just completely over exceeded, at every level. And they're then winning Iowa like, just go take care of business and do what you need to do. They were not pretty, but they were better, and they were better in every aspect. And Iowa just hung around, but just a typical Iowa State game.
Yeah, I'm excited for both teams, what they can do the rest of the year. I think people are looking at their opponents and who they've played and what those opponents have done. But it is what it is. I think that they both will take 1 week at a time, and they got to stay healthy. So as long as Iowa State's skill position kids stay healthy, and up front last year they were just decimated in the secondary with their second line, their linebackers, and I think they're pretty thick right there right now. But Iowa I think has way more upside, and it's going to be fun to watch that. But at the end of the day, uh, the high school football stuff was pretty. You keep bringing up the Braylon thing, and I mean, I didn't know, like, so I have to go to, it's a North Polk Newton Friday night. It's Newton's really good. North Polk's got that Van Meter run going, where they've gotten on the map, they've won, they got something special. It's amazing what they've done, in 4A football. And Newton was really good, but you texted me a few times because I can't see everything, and I get back, we get our stuff edited for Dome Dynasty, get that up and going, and you were like, yeah, Pleasantville won, but and I'm like, they beat Pella Christian, that's a good thing. I mean, Pella Christian's always good, and didn't realize, I don't know when Braylon hurt his ankle or whatever, but all of us, have friends and family playing on a Friday night or playing in a game, so being healthy is a big deal, and then managing that health is always going to be the toughest thing, as how it helps and hurts your season. So yeah, I guess Braylon just ran like for 400. He was basically a Kak Marinsky, just a West Bend
Against
Mallard.
Kak Marinsky.
Yeah, just a West Bend Mallard. Like, okay, I'm just going to take care of the ball. And
Yeah, the Pleasantville game was interesting. Pleasantville Pella Christian is one of those that Pleasantville's kind of just struggled with. They have not been able to get over the hump, and the Fighting Kak Marinskis will show up and punch you in the nose no matter what.
Oh,
And
always
so
good.
it's just been one of those things where they haven't been able to get over the hump. I don't think, I have to look back honestly, like on the stats. Did they beat them last year? Maybe. I'd have to look at it for sure, but then Pella Christian knocked them off on their baseball run, so that
Yeah,
was their,
yeah,
in 34 baseball games, Pleasantville, their one loss, Pella Christian.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
then
It's pretty
football,
cool. Yeah,
it was
actually.
interesting. Like football, Pleasantville, it seriously, it seemed like the Iowa State game, Pleasantville was better. They were, just, they weren't as physical maybe, but they were just a better team all the way around. It just seemed like Pleasantville was going to win the game, just like Iowa State. Iowa State's going to win the game, but Iowa hung around, Pella Christian hung around. Like you've got to get rid of them. You got to hit that knockout blow, or those teams will stay around and fight. And that's exactly what happened. A couple players got hurt early for Pleasantville, a couple of their studs, and so you just see Coach Jorth and trying, like, the offense trying to figure out, where are we going to go, what are we going to do, and so it's just like, run Bingham right, run Bingham left, and he'd throw one here or there, but like, it was just interesting. I think he had 246 yards rushing from the quarterback spot, threw for another 100. So video game numbers again, which is just wild. But I think he got kind of crippled up like in the middle of that game somewhere. And, he probably still had 10, 12 tackles on the game. So just really making an impact. And it'll be interesting to see, does he play tonight against Mount Air, a non-conference game that really means nothing. And then they'll, roll right into district play next week, so they
Yeah.
definitely want him healthy.
Whether we're right or wrong, it sounds like Logan Roth might be doing some wildcat and maybe give Braylon a break, and that's going to be hard. I mean, you only get 9 goes at it sometimes, in your high school career for a season, and so it's hard. But I think that's the cool thing about the big picture now is coaches can moderate and have a good plan, and that's the Klein kid, the Caden Klein kid from Newton. He's a West Point possible commit. Just a special young man we saw last year, just all over the field against DCG physically. But you can tell he's got a hammy or something. Something's not right with him against the North Polk team. And so I don't know if they need to hold him out or Coach Sweet and Gentleman is just a tremendous coach along with Tabrink, but you just wonder like, okay, this was a big game he wanted to play. Maybe we hold him out before we get into our district stuff or whatever. But I don't know how long this has been lingering. But he just wasn't the same, that I had seen. And if he was, that's a different football game, So those are tough choices right now.
And you see that a lot. Like I think Jay Higgins was the perfect example of it last year for Iowa. He didn't look healthy after that UCLA game, and he just battled through it. And a healthy Jay Higgins, like what's he do for the Iowa defense, in those games and in those moments. But like, let's get into it. We've rambled for 15 minutes. I don't know if we've touched on anything yet, so let's get into the show a little bit. As we kind of move forward in the show, this is sponsored by McKay Group. McKay Group just opening a brand new office in Pleasantville, Iowa. Dave, you had the chance to be there to see it firsthand. Really just a cool experience that we had to see the McKay Group in action.
Yeah, I think the best thing about it is the nostalgia of have your small towns doing the things that you're either trying or you're not, and I think that has to do with the school districts and the communities. You're either like growing or you're not, or you're either connecting or you're not. It was really cool because growing up in that town, that bank was a special place, and so for somebody to reinvest in that, no matter if you're a business partner with them or not, no matter what your relationship is with them, whether it's a hospital, a bank, or whatever, but to go in there and to see, and kind of things that you've done with Bing Bang, with creating really cool office space and making things feel modern, to go into that bank, it was always a cool experience for me. I loved it. But to see what they've done with it, I mean, the old Pleasantville bank the office is nicer than even their offices over in Knoxville now. I mean, their office in Pleasantville is like way cool. So it was good to see everybody. I think for me, just that somebody's reinvesting, and then that puts a really cool shine and new feeling in an old community, but you don't lose that old perspective. And so to have the safe there, and I think Suter was gonna like he kept going, is this doing anything? We were like messing with the safe door, and I'm like, we probably shouldn't be touching this, but he's like, does that click? Because he's a farmer, like he's gonna figure it out, like if I move that door or those things. So we were back there messing with the safe, and yeah, really,
we're all the same person. When I went in there and they were remodeling it a couple of months ago, like before they opened everything, it was just I immediately walked over to the safe and like opened it and looked in it.
Yeah,
like we're all just kids at heart.
Yeah, I wanted to see it, but superintendent of schools was there.
Tony Allsworth.
Yeah, and so just saw a lot of great people. Do I have like feedback on now? Is it
nope, you're good.
Okay. But anytime these communities come together and do something special, McKay's, I think they've invested a lot of money in that building, and I think people will notice it. So I invite them to go in and check it out. They might still have some food and donuts left over from that, but the great thing for me was getting to go all the way around the whole community and talking to some of our old friends and old people. The Halftime's got the best burger in Iowa right now. Checkerboard is.
Did you try it? Did you get a best burger? No, but did you get one Wednesday?
Yeah, we had the whole team. We got Jake and Eric hamburgers, but I've been in there 4 times, I think, since they've won it. Since Phil finally sold it and it turned into a good restaurant. But
Phil is in our fantasy league. That is why we can talk trash about Phil Meyer.
But yeah, the Hero did a good job, and it is amazing that Smokey Rose there. And Checkerboard and Halftime. I mean, and this is us talking every small.
And then there's a new the dairy shop is new ownership, and it seems like from what I've seen, they're just doing amazing things. It's like 4 unbelievable, awesome, treasured historic things in one little tiny town and when people start talking about Pleasantville, I think this whole show we've talked about is Pleasantville, which is kind of funny. But it's like the whole world revolves around Pleasantville. Like Andy Fales was always my favorite. The second Andy Fales mentioned in 2 shows. Andy always was just like, dude, everything's around. There's a Bingham quadrant.
Yeah, he called it the quadrant.
The Bingham quadrant, and it all centers around Pleasantville, and everything circles around Pleasantville. So just all funny. But let's go fantasy football. Since you had the worst draft ever.
Yep.
How did you do week 1 with the worst draft ever?
Pretty much the most dominant team in the league. I mean, I like the critics. I'm probably the Ferentz of fantasy football. So when my team stays healthy and we're good, we win titles. We have the most titles. He has the most wins in the Big Ten. And so if I could do I'll write down some notes here. But no, I
write notes.
I do like my team.
Win games.
I do like my team the way it's structured because I got Josh Allen. That's all I need. But poor Rob Busick because he's always got a good team. But I don't know. I got Jeff Cook this week. He's always been a thorn in my side, but I will always be the underdog. But yeah, I mean, you had a good week too. Brock Busick, the Memphis had to move to Columbia, Missouri. Now they're the Cuckoo Crazies or whatever. They probably got the best team, but
the Columbia Crazies or whatever, I think.
Yeah. You just got to find a way. Try to get a high floor team, not a high ceiling team, and just find a way. Hopefully somebody. But yeah, I had Terry McLaurin going last night. I do watch high school football and NFL football, and if I get a chance, I'll watch a few college games. But I do love the primetime NFL stuff.
So you're 1-0 going into Thursday night's football last night. I'm 1-0. I think we both scored 72 points on the dot.
Oh, did we?
Our league scoring's a little different than all these inflated fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
And so I think we both scored 72 points, both 1-0. I play Rob Verben. I will destroy him this week.
I don't know
let
if I can
let it be known.
Did I turn my mic off?
Nope, you're good. So we're both 2-0. We're both 1-0 in fantasy football. So that's pretty wild that would happen. And then my son was all about he had to have a fantasy team.
Yeah.
Like he had to and so his mom would not let him have a fantasy team with his friends because he's just so competitive and that would be the only thing he'd care about was who was starting and everything. So I broke down and let the family have a team. So we have a 4-team league. So Bailey's got a team, Grayson's got a team, Angel's got a team, I got a team. So we're playing against each other every week. So it'll be interesting. And I wasn't quite prepared. I think I drafted it we drafted it 10:30 one night before I flew back to Iowa. And so just, craziness. So I do have Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are my quarterbacks in this 4-team league. And I expected to just dominate. And it was odd. Bailey beat me last week. And she put it to me. And so I was just what in the crap? So Sunday morning, we were going to church Sunday morning, and on the way to church, we made a bet that because I was just guaranteeing I was going to smoke her.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what I bet against her, but she bet that I couldn't drink any Mountain Dew if she beat me. I had this streak, this Mountain Dew streak. And so as of Sunday night, no more Mountain Dew for Brandon.
Really? So is that just for an extended period of time, or was that
I don't know if I got to win a fantasy game to get it back, or what happens. But I've been drinking the iced tea and no Mountain Dew this week. It's been a struggle.
Yuck. Yeah, I don't know about that.
So other things that were kind of fun since Bailey beat me, I'll kind of throw up a little bit of her fun this week. So Bailey's STP Elite team, probably the youngest 12U team in the state.
STP, what's that stand for?
St. Pete.
Just St. Pete. Okay.
Yeah. So we just STP Elite is what it's abbreviated. We're actually
STP as a sponsor already, or
we should. So we're St. Pete Elite Carolina. So this is St. Pete Elite Carolina. You're seeing right here.
Why Elite Carolina? Help me out there.
We're just we're Carolina colors.
Oh,
so Navy, Carolina, our actual head coach, Jeremy Barnes, who has helped kind of set all this up and thankfully have somebody else to kind of run the craziness with. He actually played football at North Carolina.
Yeah.
So when I was starting to put things together, I'm let's just be Carolina colors. And he's like, no. Okay. Once he saw the uniforms, he was like, yeah, let's do that. That looks cool. And so we just were Carolina colors. We were just one team, so we didn't expect much, but then here, year two, now we're three teams. So
Yeah.
two 12U teams, one 10U team. We had the battle of the STP Elites Sunday morning in bracket play. Our young little 12U team lost to the Navy STP Elite team. I think it was like 6-3, 6-4. Really good, actually a really, really good softball game.
That's
They
cool.
made
Were
it.
they able to handle it? Everybody got them all lined up. Everybody understands what's going on.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't really that big of a deal. It was just like we're playing softball. We've scrimmaged against this team, 3 or 4 times. We practiced together, all that thing. So it was a little bittersweet because you wanted them to win, you wanted them to have success, and so they made 2 or 3 more defensive plays and beat our Carolina team, and then the Navy team went all the way to the championship. So just kind of um, a fun whole opening day weekend, and really got kind of the bugs worked out and what do we need to do and how do we need to move forward. So some big practices this week as we go into our off week, and then we'll have another tournament I think next weekend. But
Yeah, we talked a little softball even at the grand opening on the square in Pleasantville. So there's always something going on of how to do it the right way and what matters and how you should do it. But I think as long as you can continue to make the girls love it, you talk about having to get to a game at 5 o'clock to play it and a road trip and all that. There's some definitely traps that can ruin a girl's experience in a specific sport. I don't know. What they do in volleyball, what they do in some of these, but everybody's got these commitments, and so some of the things that since we did the last Two Brothers podcast before we did the one last week, I was saving all these people talking about our club's going to go here, it's going to go here. There's some traps, and then parents are like, oh, but if we don't go, we don't get the reps, and I think you can get some reps and do some great things, especially in the hardball sports of softball and baseball, where you can get reps with practice and do some great things, not necessarily off the machines and all that, but a right scheduled thing. You can really develop kids if you have those levels that you have with your club. You can do some great things in about a 3-hour session on a Saturday and Sunday, where you don't have to get these kids up at the crack of dawn. But you do have to have some love and gratitude with the development, so that these girls don't quit on you or they don't get sick of it too.
yeah, it's funny. Coach Barnes, Tuesday was like, "Hey, let's just get after them." Like we're so close, and we were one play
Mm-hmm.
away every game from, just being really, really good. And my statement I left kind of last Sunday with is we actually were really good this week. We weren't elite, we weren't great, but we were good. Like it's just, and so if we put the work in, and so I think some of it is like, does it really matter at 5th and 6th grade softball? No, like none of this matters. And so it was funny as we came back to Tuesday, we were both kind of like, oh, we gotta go, we gotta go. And then Coach Barnes right before practice was like, they just need to have fun.
Yeah.
Like just play the game and have fun. Like we need competitive drills. We just need them to compete, and we need them to have, and that's ultimately what it's about. That's when it's fun, when you're with the right people surrounding you to do things, like sometimes you'll take it too far as a coach and as a competitive human, because you see how great these kids are. You see how far they can take it. And sometimes you need to just tone it back and just realize that they're a 10-year-old girl, that they just need to play the relay drill and see who can get it from one side of the line
Yep.
to the other side of the line faster today. And they're still
Yeah.
learning and growing through that.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were talking about, the difference between being a youth coach and being Matt Campbell. You were seeing that edge before the Iowa State game. We could feel it, and that's the difference. Is I think a lot of people, and I struggled probably with this early on until I went through a lot of the coaching classes, went to a lot of the national clinics as a youth coach, and some of that stuff that I did as a youth coach with the girls that I had back then, they trusted us. They loved us. They knew they cared about us, right? So it was okay. I could get after them. The Murphy girls and Dorpinghouse and Daybalt and the whole crew that we had. We had them in basketball. The Brants, they ended up being great soccer. We had parents and everybody that it was already there, so weren't in danger of losing them because we knew they were going somewhere. But as a whole, you can't do that. and so there has to be, let's let them, okay, if they're really good when they're young, like kids like Braylon or whatever, it's like, yeah, they're really good. That kid's a great player, but you lose them all if you don't keep bringing them into that fold. So where you can get them into high school, get them with Coach Swede, get them with Coach TeBrink. Tonight we're gonna have Coach Burns and Coach Hinkle. Get them to that, let them even elevate them, and then the stuff that we see the high school and the college coaches, we're really, as youth coaches, that's not our job. So they have to love it. If they don't love it, if you don't have them doing a drill at the end of where they can go to, we used to have a marble slab because we only had one specialty ice cream place here in Ankeny back in the day, and I'm like, everybody from half court, somebody hits it, we'll get a marble slab. Nobody ever did it. Riley did, but so Riley Daybalt did it. I saw her dad and her sister or her aunt in back-to-back days. So Sean was at the McKay thing, and Sharice came to our office, our new office at ADI. So
that's small town right there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm sorry we got into youth stuff. I'm done.
We're good. So we'll wrap this segment real quick with some huge Keswick JV football.
Oh yeah,
and then we'll roll right into the Iowa Football Coaches Association Player of the Year stuff. But it was funny last night. So we had Keswick JV Football number 15, Bryson Bingham here. It's just funny watching him try to make a tackle, fighting off a block, making a tackle.
We should have this like a huddle, like where we can spotlight him or whatever.
A few yards back to the line of scrimmage. A few Crusaders there on the tackle, including number 15, Bryson Bingham. We got a third down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make some noise.
So yeah, can you highlight him? Can we show a highlight? Can we spotlight him?
Yeah,
his pants are gray, and some people. Can you get matching pants there?
They are matching. I don't know what.
Yeah, some are green and some are gray.
I think those are the varsity kids. I'm guessing those are the varsity, the bigger kids, the freshmen, sophomores. So this is JV football, which makes it even more fun. So he's a 7th grader. So you can see kind of the difference in kind of the height. So this is Hernando Christian, another small school here around the Tampa area. So he's 15 here. He's going to have to fight off a block. He's got to get rid of this block faster. John making a play, and then Grayson deciding what to damn.
Well, at least the thing that I noticed is the technique and all that, but his ability to fight to the ground and just keep act. And then, you were always the slowest to get up, so you got a lot of the tackles back in the day. But what's going on with the officials? They're all in shorts and they don't move. They're not following the play.
I don't know if you've been to a Florida football game, but it's 900 million degrees. It is so hot. It's like you're on the sun, watching this, and it's like 6 o'clock. And so it's just been fun to watch. Here he is on this side.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, but he's got to get lower. Last night, before he was headed to bed, I was like, dude, if you just get lower, you might actually be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, he's way better now than he was last year, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah,
man,
he's going to have
horrible.
to get lower. Yeah, because I was, ankle swiper tackle guy because I was smaller than him, obviously. He's actually not tiny.
No, he's getting bigger. Like somebody said, man, he's grown like a foot. And I'm like, yeah, he's a lot bigger. So kind of funny. So the games I had to leave. I didn't get to see the second half. I had to go to Bailey's practice. So I saw the first half. It was 8-8 when I left. And
are you going to the money play here at the end? So yeah, before you go to that, the funny thing for me as your brother, 15 years older, obviously, is our high school program was so important. And so watching, your nieces, nephews, and whatever participate in sports and watching my girls go through it. But I was telling Tyler, I'm like, that Brandon, I didn't know, you wrestled and all that, but you weren't. You weren't Braylon Bingham, obviously.
No.
But
I don't know if any of us are.
When you got into football and you were playing a little bit as a sophomore, I'm like, he must he must stick his nose in there. But some of the things that I'm seeing with him are things that I was like, well, he's not. I'm like, Brandon's not good, but at least he stick his head in there and get hit,
No,
and
my sophomore year, coach was like, you aren't any good, but if you just go in the all these teams are going to run off tackle. You're going to play safety. Don't get beat deep, and then go make every play at the off tackle spot. If you
God
make
forbid they passed. Yeah.
if you make every play at the off tackle spot, like you'll play. And so you read that guard, and whatever that guard does, you go do. If like he pass blocks, you better be just fast enough to knock somebody down or something. But then like they're gonna run off tackle. Madrid's gonna run off tackle. Ogden's gonna run off tackle. Like all these really good teams that we had in our district at that time. And they're like, just go and hit them.
You were a spy basically for the run game, you know.
Yep.
And you were actually, I mean, not athletic or anything at that time, but you were in the way. But yeah, you ended up being good. So to have people in your family and watch the development and try to figure out if they're going to be good or not, because even you just don't know. Like you knew that like Kathleen, my oldest, was tough and had a lot of Vic Carter in her and had a lot of her mom in her. She just didn't care about anybody. Still never, when it came to, she didn't study film, doesn't care about you. I'm just better than you, and I am better than you, and that was just a weird, so you didn't know where that was going to take her, and you're trying to figure that out. So, Grayson's your son, and a lot of people have kids going through youth sports and all that. And we talked to Brad Horseman a little bit in some texting last night. And Brad was like, he was elevated beyond a lot of us because of his brothers and their coaching background and their understanding of the game. So he mentally was ahead of us, and we didn't know it. And he would go to camps and things like that. And Brad was a decent athlete. I'd say even
horrible person, decent athlete.
Yeah. But it's really
need a
unique.
shirt, BSN guy.
It's really unique athletic wise. We weren't imposing people, but just being ahead, and that's where Grayson has an advantage. Is he, even though he's full of like crap sometimes and all that, and talks a good game, he talks himself into it.
He is Brad Horseman.
Yeah, he might actually end up being able to be successful in some playing fields. I don't know. The football thing's exciting for me. I hope he sticks with it. He's going to be a good baseball player. He's going to find a spot, but there's something about the game. Being part of the team that I think is special. I mean, I love football.
So last night it was funny. It's 8-8 second half.
We're setting this up.
8-8 second half. The other team's just kind of imposing their will a little bit, driving. I think actually running away from him a little bit because he's actually coming up making plays. So he's thinking he's the guy now. And it's a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1. I don't know what the exact situation was, but they just got to do the tush push, get across. They're going to score. They're going to take the lead. They're going to dominate. Hernando Christian's going to go on to win. But Grayson had other thoughts here. So on this play, I'll turn a little of it down, but you've got the flip to the ref.
Why did they go put him in on offense to go win the game?
He's not Cooper DeJean yet. So it's
look
funny,
at those guys. That is a pretty and isn't that what we're doing here, Brandon? I mean, isn't that what it's all about? No matter where he goes in life, no matter what, that's the kind of feeling that being involved in athletics is special. It gives me goosebumps. I didn't see this part of it. This is why we do it, right?
So it's funny as we set it up here again. So this is, they're just running a little tush push up the middle. He comes off the edge and he's just going to go find the ball. Give me that ball. It's mine. Got it. Huge
It's
turnover.
so simple, but it's something. That's a Brad Horseman. We talked about Brad a little bit. That's just an ornery little SOB right in there. And just figuring out, like, everybody's just like trying to do their job and play the game of football. And he's like, no, I'm just going to go win the football game. And here's how you do it. That's pretty simple.
So he does that, and then they end up going on to win 24-8. So that.
Oh, really?
So they didn't score there, and then Keswick goes and scores the next play.
Is this one of his teammates too with the ball? Was that a ball boy, or who is that? He even came and found him. It's really unique how everybody went and locked in on him. Like, I can't believe you did that. That was smart.
So it's funny, like the kid with the ball, I think, is one of the varsity players,
Okay. That's really
interesting.
Cool.
It's interesting if you kind of look at the sideline here. I think there's
there's
5 or 6 varsity players that are on the sideline with them.
Okay.
Just kind of standing in there. And so Coach Dare is the head football coach at Keswick, and he's just got a heart. He's got a motor, he's got a heart, and he's just a guy that is ultimately building something that is different. And you can see it even with the sidelines. And I think you see Coach Dare is actually standing right off the screen to the left. Coach Dare's dad is standing there with the hat right behind the referee. And so Coach Dare and his dad, like old Coach Dare, had been coaching forever. And so then now he's on the staff with his son, David Dare, at Keswick. And so there's a program being built. So this is cool. This is tough, as JV football with some of these younger 7th graders playing JV football against some freshmen and sophomore. But you can just see the emotion.
Too.
Yeah, there's people, man. And you can just kind of see. And so there's emotion out of all these, kids, players.
Yeah.
Coach is jacked.
Yeah.
Coach Ryuchi, this is his first win. This is Coach Ryuchi's first win. So this is a big moment for him, too.
Yeah, but these are the things that are special. So, that everybody's engaged. Number 8 couldn't wait to get over there, talk to D.
I have to get a roster out and find out who's who, but pretty cool when you just see, things like this happen. And, Grayson was still
like my 67-yard touchdown on my first varsity carry, and then nothing else happened after that. But I have that moment,
It's locked in.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the next segment here. As we move into the next segment, sponsored by Schroeder Baseball. Schroeder Baseball, all your gear. Look them up on Facebook, Schroeder Baseball. Everything that you need, baseball, softball, bats galore. You need a demo of bat. You need to see a glove in action. They've got it all for you right there at Schroeder Baseball out of Leon and Sheraton, Iowa. Pretty cool, Schroeder Baseball.
You got to call them. Yeah, so you got to pause it. We need to keep, their phone number up.
No, we don't want to overload them. They're only a couple dudes right now. We got to figure out how to get the website live so then we can full on until
they
then.
Need to spend money with Bing Bang is what we need.
They're trying to. Bing Bang needs to be able to say they're going to do something and go do it. Brandon's struggling with that at this point. Yes. So Brandon struggles with the taking on more work right now because we're so busy and we're doing podcasts, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we can take on more work. So if you're a really creative content creator that can do it without me showing up, just not even client manager or anything, you think you can just go do it, give us a call. We'll actually have a couple meetings next week, but
pretty cool. So let's move into the Iowa Football Coaches Association Player of the Year segment of our show here. You were at North Polk Newton. Pretty cool what you got to see at North Polk Newton, right?
Well, I just, as we watched power programs getting built over the years and how you do it these days, they're juggling kids coming in and out of their program, but some things, most towns are consistent with the main frame of their kids coming in. But Brandon, I think the thing for what Brink's doing, obviously it's a CIML feel there. He's got the whole staff. He's got 3 former coaches, head coaches. He's got people that just want to work under him, and he's a great delegator. And in that situation, we got that many people passionate. When you're a football program, whether you're watching Southeast Polk, Dowling, Valley, all these CML, you can just see that's what's happening at North Polk. And then they just got kids galore that they're just plugging and playing. The Armstrong kid came in and played quarterback. You watch him, and it just looks like, he's been there forever. But Newton's going to be good. Andy's doing the same thing in Newton. I think Newton, if their quarterback gets healthy, these 2 teams will for sure play again. Brandon Madrid or somebody donated these uniforms.
Aren't they sweet?
It is. I guess
we need to hit it. We need to hit them with the threads of the game.
Selby would go to town on this, but whether you're the 1980 Newton Cardinals or the 2025 Newton Cardinals, these uniforms, whether you feel like they're Newton, Texas, Nebraska field, they were beautiful, and they did a great job of keeping the tradition in mind. Helmets the same way, but this is what high school should be. It's not look at these new uniforms. It's somebody wanted to be part of the Newton Cardinal football program, and I think it was somebody from Madrid. I don't know. Every time
I think I saw that too.
Every time we go to Newton for a project, I've made Mark and Parker, when he went with us, we'd go to eat at Madrid. I'm like, we're going to Madrid and getting. So we contributed to these uniforms, but this is the special stuff that's going on in the state. But these 2 teams, I watched North Polk all through last year. They're like, they're kind of good. They're kind of good. I didn't know this 4A between the 3A and the 5A. This 4A, Carlisle popped in there the first year for Winterset's right there because it's kind of opened up a gap. And so sometimes there'll be a dominant team in there like a Lewis Central or Xavier or something like that, but North
Pella.
Polk is going to just be there forever. Newton's
Yeah.
right there.
Well, the thing with North Polk is like how they're going to be probably the next 5A school. It's just they keep growing too. Like they might be in that big class here soon too.
Yeah, ask DCG about that. Just
No
happened.
kidding. It just happens. But look at these uniforms here. We'll even throw a little of the threads of the game back on here. It was just when I saw these, I was like, these are pretty.
It's really cool that when you go to a new uni too, Brandon, how classic it was. And I'm an all white, white pins and just one color. I love the look of that. Yeah, Newton's unis were sweet, and they did the same thing. They did a little decal on the helmets, so they got brand new helmets and stuff for this. It looked really good.
Yeah, it's just cool when somebody does something like this, and what a fun environment. North Polk, Newton, both just teams that care, communities that care, and so this is cool. And look at that guy, like his new threads out there, just bringing it. And so it's just fun to watch. Games like North Polk, Newton are what makes everything special and makes it, the ability for you guys to get out there and do that with Dome Dynasty is really cool. So did you go ahead?
No, you had a thought there. Go with it.
Oh, I was going. Where are you going this week? And then you were already going there.
So we got Bo Burns, right? We talked about him last week, and I guess we're going to keep trying to do this podcast every week. That sounds crazy, but we'll try it. But I think when you see these mythical characters that are putting up big numbers and they're not in the area that you cover, you want to go see them. So Madrid's headed over to Brooklyn tonight, so that's where Jesse and I are going. And
so I pulled the legend that is Bo Burns.
Yeah.
So I pulled his stats from week 2 because I'm like, I kind of heard him. I hadn't, so this morning I was like, I'm just
doing this for a while. I mean, he's been doing
for
this
a while, for like 4 years. Like he's been doing this, but like this was just interesting. So he had 4 passing touchdowns, 248 passing yards. This is week 2, by the way. This is not a season stat. This is just week 2. He had 4 passing touchdowns, 248 passing yards. He did throw an interception, I heard. He then had 292 yards rushing from the quarterback spot. Do we even know that he is the quarterback? Like, where does he line up? What happens? So those 292 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, it's not 8-player either.
No, and I did see somebody made a comment. It was like, he's better in Class A than he was an 8-player. And, it was kind of interesting because, like, I think there's always these mythical discussions, right? That, like, A is better than 1A, and there are years that possibly that can be the case. And I think there is, I've been watching my son play 8-player JV football, and then they play varsity 11-player. And it does seem like 8-player, there are moments where the defense is dominant. There are moments where the offense, you're not going to stop them no matter what you do. So 8-player is the wild, wild west, but it does seem like whatever's happening in Brooklyn, Green Mountain, Garwin, I don't even know what all the BGM is. Bo Burns has got something going there. And to be able to go over there today and see it will be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. His dad's been there, been really successful in his tenure.
His dad,
there, yeah, and they were at they knocked on the door for a championship in 2013. I mean, they popped and they were runner up. So, I mean, I think Brandon, BGM's a lot like Pleasantville. We just probably don't understand it. I think there's been a strong, back in the 60s and 70s, there were some dudes that, hey, we'll play you anytime, anywhere. And so I think there's some strong tradition. Hopefully I'll feel that a little bit tonight. I've never been to a game there. So that to me, that is what I want to do. That's, getting ready, the night we got to go to Emmitsburg in Coach Thomas's last game. those are special places, and I think that's the history that you want to say that you've been to these games. But Madrid and Coach Henkel will come over and play him tough. That'll be interesting to see what numbers he puts up. But exciting game for us to send back to Channel 5 tonight.
Yeah, see it all on the Blitz tonight, right? And then see it on Dome Dynasty soon after. Jesse Landau will be pumping some unbelievable content out.
Yeah, he'll be editing on the way home. I get to drive the Ford home, so that'll be
we
fun.
Can't wait to see the legend that is Bo Burns. And,
yeah,
it's fun. Like, we try not to overhype some of these situations, but it's hard not to overhype a kid that 400 yards and total offense and 8 touchdowns.
Well, he's got more than 1,000 total yards in 2 weeks. So, I mean, are you kidding me? Like,
that's wild.
We would go 5-0 in junior high football with Coach Harkin and Coach Adrian and never have 500 yards of total offense, and we'd still win. But we probably had more than that. But I mean,
it'll be interesting to see what happens, because Madrid is going to be tough, and Madrid will. They're not going to care. I mean, Donnie's going to have the boys ready to go. He's going to have, I guarantee they're taking the music with them. Like, Donnie's going to have them. There's going to be some UPS sign slammed on some BGM locker room that is, we're always open, baby.
Yeah, we're going to deliver.
So we're just like UPS. We always deliver.
I think Brock probably told, Donnie, we're coming. So.
I can't wait. Like, that'll be probably a highlight of the year and life when you get to go to Brooklyn to watch Bo Burns, but you get to see all the Madrid.
Yeah, get the Madrid stuff.
Antics. So that'll be fun. I can't wait to see that tonight. And then, just a ton of other really good games out there. And then we're eyeing kids around the state for this Iowa Football Coach Association Player of the Year.
So if there's the 5th year we've been doing this, and I think we're gonna have something really special coming down the pipe, and looking forward to that. But yeah, it's that's why we want to go across the state as much as we can. We want to cover everybody.
And you're kind of eyeballing a fun game next week.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away. Somebody's
got to perform tonight to be able to have the Dome Dynasty Blitz crew show up at your home.
Yeah, we're going to bring the brand squad at some point, covered with our van and all of our decals, and we'll have people handing out flyers, and it's going to be cool.
We'll be able to do all your print, promo, signs,
we'll have
everything.
Brent Butcher walking around out there. We'll get Brad Horseman, Bob Selby, the whole team. We'll come at like noon. It'll be a big Friday kickoff show or whatever. Yeah, the Sprinter van's ready to go.
Are you Dave Portnoy then?
I don't know who that is, but everybody that sees me in the Sprinter van that knows us is like, man, that van is awesome. I'm like, it's the only thing my brother's done that's been awesome. This van rocks.
That van was Gio Selzy, man.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Gio Selzy's van. It was his T-shirt trailer. He was trying to get rid of it. It was kind of a perfect time. We had to tear the T-shirt trailer stuff out and put a couch that doesn't work in it. But hey, here we go.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap
in here.
We'll wrap Iowa Football Coach Association, and then we'll jump into our final segment and be done for. We had to come back to McKay Group with their Pleasantville stuff. I think I kind of messed up earlier and didn't play their right social media stuff.
No, it's really cool. It's really cool. We're going to be putting out some content. And I was really excited about editing it last night. Oh, sorry, I think I cut my mic off. But
you're good.
I was in that zone where I was trying to edit. And when you get in the zone, and then my wife texted me, and I was like, I knew it was going to be 5:30 before I left, and so I was glad she reminded me. Otherwise, I would have kept going. So I got to run in there. If we didn't have to do this today, I was going to put together a little quick video on what happened there. But I think for people to just go in there, even if, I don't know if Scott's going to be in the office up there at Pleasantville or not. But
he will be, I think. Yep.
If you're listening to this, just go up and look at the bank. It's really neat. And, you get goosebumps thinking about John Franey and all the people that you used to go see when you were younger in there. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool just to see small town continuing to thrive. And it's all about great people combining efforts, and how do they continue to do amazing things. So pretty cool what they got going on. But in kind of our final segment today, one of the things that we've been following, we've been tracking this. I almost left the studio. I don't want to leave the studio. So producing your own show is not good while you're trying to keep a thought going. Let's see if I can do this correctly here. I'm struggling. Here we go. I think I got it.
As you're getting it prepared, I did see Marcy Roth at the opening. She brought a dog in. Oh my gosh! So I'll show some video of that and some of the stuff. What's going on here?
So
just DeChambeau stuff.
We've been on the Bryson DeChambeau stuff. Like, I just love the personality and what he's showing and everything. But I have not seen. Let's see. He's day 12.
This is day 12 of trying to make this ping pong ball into that tiny shot cup.
He's barefoot.
And when I make it, I'll be giving away this Bentley on my Instagram Live. This is day 12. I get 120 shots. Here we go.
How does he give it away? So
I'm not sure even how the contest works. None of that matters. It's just, can he make a shot? Like, that's all I'm locked into.
Is this live then sometimes?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think so. I think he's just his YouTube short.
In the zone right now.
$100 going straight to your pocket. Use code Bryson. Signing up with Underdog. Gotta do that.
I just wanted to kind of showcase this again because our world has been heavy this week and it needs things like this.
Oh wow, we're on the frame again. So good.
Your mind though, you can jump in and start watching stuff like this. I don't have the
do it.
patience. I don't know if my brain can handle it.
That's it.
Oh, we made it!
The dog. The dog king.
Oh my God!
So what happens now? How many cameras do they have there? They got like a roving camera too. They got.
Someone's gonna win a Bentley tomorrow. Woo! Tune into my Instagram Live tomorrow, 12 p.m. CST, to see who's gonna win the Bentley. If you show up and you're on the live, you could win the Bentley. This is day 12.
So did he make a deal with somebody if I do
this?
Did he make a deal with this? Is someone, if I do this, then we're giving this away? So he's not like invested in it?
No, I think Underdog, the fantasy site, kind of the betting fantasy platform, I think is all about this. So, this is all their publicity, their activation of this is through Bryson. So
they knew they were going to give this away no matter what, right?
Yeah, and they knew they were going to give $100 away, every time he made it in that thing. But just pretty unbelievable when you just kind of get to like, that's what he's doing and how it kind of works itself out. But pretty amazing. I hadn't seen he had made it. I had kind of thought through social, I had seen kind of bits and pieces, but I'm like, I'm not clicking on it until we watch it live. And so that was cool that like we just watched it live to see it. Just fun. What else you got today?
Nothing. I mean, we got to get ready for the game. I think so. We got to get Toyota of Des Moines and JR Phillips and those guys. They got some. I went in and got my. So the one thing when I started, the Battle Like Betty working for Bing Bang, Brandon Bingham, Dave Bingham. I bought a pickup, and I've always, for no reason, like this is not sensible and it's outside my common denominator to go do something, spend money on something. So, but what's really weird is why is it when you
actually technically I bought a pickup because I'm paying you now,
right? So
for the first time ever,
so I got a Lunar Rock Toyota, and I didn't even know this. I went out in the lobby to look for JR, but he wasn't there, so I just sat there. And while I'm sitting there, they sent me a video. Right.
Good afternoon and welcome to Toyota Des Moines. My name is John. I'm servicing your vehicle today, doing your oil change and tire rotation. So we can get started. Did top off your wash fluid here. Dry bell and oil hoses.
Why is it?
Your brake full of back there.
Why is it I didn't know that they did like a video? And that's really cool. So he showed like, I'm like, I guess you could have just brought me back there and I could have walked the vehicle with him, which, they don't want to deal with people like me, but he had the camera and he had like a GoPro or something. He's like, we did this, we did that, we did this. They showed everything. I'm like, I didn't know that existed. So really cool. I mean, that dealerships are doing that right now. And I think everybody's probably going to have to do it, which sucks.
Yeah, that is cool. And like,
did he ever see that? Did he use a GoPro? The reason I brought it up is because you're sucking right now in the vehicle world.
Yeah, I don't even know that I have a vehicle that runs right now. Like, I have like 7 vehicles in Iowa, and I have 2 vehicles that are in a shop in Florida. So like, we got to go like 3 hours to play baseball this weekend. In like Plant City. we need to rent a Tesla just to get there. No, the guy this morning did call me. That was one call this morning I had to take. And
Yeah.
he said he thought the battery was just dead in the Cadillac. So he's hoping that the Cadillac just, for whatever reason, it was overcharging then. The alternator was overcharging it. So then it was throwing codes. And
The alternator was overcharging it?
yeah, I'm not exactly sure. They definitely were perplexed by the Cadillac. So there's so many electric things that are all connected there. So they're replacing the battery. They think they're good to go. $323 out the door. Let's go.
Yeah. John, he showed my batteries 100%. So
Yeah, I need John.
yeah.
I need John. I need some Toyota.
You and
Dome
I
in my
are
life.
good at a lot of stuff when it comes to vehicles. That's like, but you always are. At least we got the Sprinter van. Let's just end it on that. We got the Sprinter.
Yeah,
van.
well, I was really good at changing tires, like like for Bronson Mason, like in McCool Junction, Nebraska. Like when he had flat tire, I was like his only crew guy. We changed it, got him back out there. I think he went from like 22nd to 10th because of my tire changing skills. But like,
Yeah.
man, like Angel's car, her air's not working. So Bailey says that we have, the 4x20 air conditioner now.
Yep.
You roll all the windows down, you go 20 miles per hour, it's 4x20 air conditioner. So
Yep.
I guess, but it has been a heavy week. Like we did, personally, we got to cook at the Ronald McDonald House for Betty.
Yeah.
So a pretty cool experience. We got to do that. So you just meet and interact with a lot of humans there.
How many people were at your event, and how does that work? Explain that to me a little bit, because I know that you guys spend a lot of time there and you have a lot of friends. So is this a new group of people? Are you going back to people or is you sharing experience with others?
So pretty cool. Like we've got a couple, just of our friends locally who really supported us through this, and so they go help us cook a meal for the people that are staying at the Ronald McDonald House. So we had the Matthews family, the Damaris family, the Casco family. So Grayson's fourth grade teacher, who's not at Keswick anymore, and really, like pretty cool that she comes and helps us with that. And then two other families, the Damaris family and the Matthews family, both have kids in Grayson's class, and so they go help us do that, and then we give back, by cooking that meal for people that are in, just unknown times. Like when you're staying at a Ronald McDonald House, you don't know what the next call is going to be. You don't know what, and so a lot of times you're spending every waking moment at the hospital. So getting a home cooked meal like that really just, I think, is one of those moments that takes you and just makes you go, it's all going to be okay. Like, and you interact with people that aren't, because like that house can be almost a hard place to be, because you're interacting with people that are all in very similar situations of desperate and despair and, just really challenging, tough times. And so being there and bringing in, light is a really important thing. I don't think I was probably the guy full of light down there, like trying to figure out, do I have a vehicle I can even drive down there? And so I think sometimes, unexpected repairs and, balancing family and work and home and all those, we have to stop and we have to realize how grateful we should be. And I think I've seen that in two other ways this week. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, but seeing all this stuff, and then I've seen a lot of his content since, and really just a guy that was, planted here and, God driven and going to do what he could do to, make the world as good of a place as he could, and then tragically taken from us, and so just a really sad moment there. But just part of like the way our world is today, and you can't probably make too much of it. You can't make enough of it, and it's probably just realize that we were grateful for the time we did have with a human like that. And then the other aspect, we'll come back to Corey Willis, at Pleasantville, dying of cancer, like probably mid 40s, 50-year-old, early 50s, but it spent, 20 some years at Pleasantville teaching, and, got his diagnosis like less than a month ago, and then, passed last week. And so they had a service on Wednesday, and I thought Channel 8 did a really nice piece, just on him and everything last night. And then really just, kind of bittersweet, but kind of cool. The fact that Mount Air, like Corey grew up in Mount Air, remember, where he was really proud of Mount Air. I really wanted to talk a lot of smack about Mount Air with him. It was fun. like back and forth. He kind of came when I was a junior, senior, I think. And so, we had a really cool relationship right away. But for Mount Air to be playing volleyball last night and Mount Air to be playing football tonight, and Corey, the legacy of what Corey Willis stood for and did, to be on full display for Mount Air, for Pleasantville, it just goes to show that, like, if you live life the right way, you do things right, you treat people right, your legacy will be far beyond the grasp of what you do today. And so I think that's probably our parting shot is live life right, do everything you possibly can to be your best version of yourself today. Go enjoy Brooklyn, Iowa. That'll be pretty fun. I know I'm jealous. I get to go to a parent meeting, I think, on Gulf Coast Tide baseball, but I'll have a better Saturday being at Plant City if we get there. But it'll be fun. So that's probably it for today's show.
I think that's a wrap.
See ya.
See ya.